Friends, on this daily video devotional, we're taking a look once again at our series on gratitude and generosity, seeing how the two are closely linked. This week, as we look at the things in our lives and our gratitude for the things in our lives, I want to read to you from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 19, a story of a man named Zacchaeus. Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through a town. A man there named Zacchaeus, a ruler among tax collectors, was rich. He was trying to see who Jesus was, but being a short man, he couldn't see because of the crowd. So he ran ahead and climbed up into the sycamore tree so he could see Jesus, who was about to pass that way. When Jesus came to the spot, he looked up and said, "Zacchaeus, come down at once. I must stay in your house today." So Zacchaeus came down at once, happy to welcome Jesus. Everyone who saw this grumbled, saying, "He's gone to be the guest of a sinner?" Zacchaeus stopped and said to the Lord, "Look, Lord, I give half of my possessions to the poor. If I have cheated anyone, I repay them 4 times as much." Zacchaeus is an interesting character here, because it seems like that for most of his life, at least, money might have been the most important thing to him. Maybe even the thing that defined him. Because I have a suspicion that for Zacchaeus, he didn't have a lot of self-esteem. He didn't think highly of himself, and here's why I think that. Do you notice that Luke gave the description that because he was such a short man, he had to climb into a tree to see Jesus pass by? What a weird thing to include in the story. Because had he been a short man, he probably could have found a different way to see Jesus. And we know Jesus picked people out of crowds very easily. It didn't always have to be blatantly obvious to him who needed to be seen, who needed to be helped, healed, whatever it may be. But I wonder if Luke is using that description of short to give us the reminder that maybe it wasn't so much that he was short, but that's how he felt. Maybe he always felt like he was the kid picked last in dodgeball. Maybe he always felt like he was the forgotten one, the passed over. When the food got passed at dinner, maybe he got the scrapings of the mashed potatoes rather than the best part at the top. We probably know folks in our lives that feel like that. Maybe you don't know who they are, because so often, like Zacchaeus, I suspect they try to hide it. And what we do is we hide it behind things that we determine give us value. For Zacchaeus, I think that was money. Notice he was the ruler among tax collectors. He'd worked his way up. He wasn't just a tax collector. And we're not talking about the IRS here. We're talking about essentially legalized theft. Going to people and taking their tax for living in their area, taking that tax and oftentimes charging more than needed. You turn in the amount that you're supposed to and then keep the rest for yourself. Maybe Zacchaeus had a habit of taking a lot extra from those who made him feel that little. Maybe that habit just kind of grew into the way he did business. And he was so good at it, he became ruler of the tax collectors in Jericho. You see, he put money so high on his list of things that gave him value. My suspicion is we probably do the same thing at times, don't we? The other day I was looking up a character on a show that Stephanie and I were watching, Because this character looked so familiar to me. This actor looked so familiar to me. I wanted to find out what else she had been in. And I typed in her name, and the very first thing that came up was, what is so-and-so's net worth? The second thing that came up, how much money does this person have? Maybe you've seen similar things online. You've seen the where are they now, the top earning actors and celebrities that now work for companies unrelated to their field. It's almost as if they've fallen from stardom and now they're to be mocked. Okay, maybe you stay off of the clickbait online and you don't see those. But when was the last time we saw someone well-dressed and assumed that they must be successful? Or let's take it a step further. When was the last time we saw someone that was well-dressed and assumed that they must be a good person, versus someone who's not well-dressed and assumed that they must be up to trouble? You see, sometimes we give money so much more value in life than it really deserves. And it's not money's fault. Money has no morality. It's how we view money. We trust people with money, and we distrust those without. We give money a lot of value. So here's my question today. What if we decided not to give money that kind of value? I'm not talking about taking the number off the dollar bill and pretending that it isn't worth $1. I'm not talking about it as a currency or as a note. But what if we stopped giving money that kind of power value in our lives? What if we stop seeing how much money someone has as an indicator of their value, their worth in life? What if we stop seeing it as a measure of their character? Might we change the way we understand money? That thing in our lives? Might we change the way we see generosity? That it's not something that only those with immense worth and wealth can do, but something all of us can take part in. I think about someone at my previous church who used to give just a couple dollars a week. And every year during the financial stewardship series, she'd come and talk to me. She would share just how bad she feels that she can't give more. And every time I would remind her that she gives faithfully out of what little she has, and how beautiful that is. One time I even told her, I said, "You are the most generous person that I know, because I know how little that you start with and how much that represents what you start with." And you know what? The next year, she doubled her giving. Not because she felt guilty, but she began to see that generosity was something that she could do. And it all started with gratitude and seeing that thing just a little different. I hope you can think about the same.